morning, everyone. I'm excited because I am sharing with you here today one of my favorite DIY projects. And I know I have many, but this one really is right up there at the top. And it's that time of year where we're all outside more. We're decking out those outdoor living spaces. We are planting things up. And this project really ties in nicely with all of that. And what I'm going to show you how to make are this really cool collection assortment of these concrete bowls, and you can make them in all different shapes and sizes. It's an incredibly inexpensive project to do. It's simple. You need minimal supplies, and it's a good one for the entire family. Kids love to get in on this as well. So I'm going to show you how easy it is. You need to get some cement mix. That's the star of the project, of course. And normally when you go to a home improvement store and you're looking at the cement mix, there's a really just a standard, the cheapest bag you can buy, and it's going to have a lot more aggregate in it. It's going to be a lot rockier. So I like to work with something that is much finer, a finer mix like a Portland cement. That's what I would recommend to start with, and that's going to, I think, give you much better. It's much easier to work with, and I think you're going to like the end product much better as well. But then, as you experiment, you can play around with maybe some different blends in that and see what you come up with as well. But you need your cement mix. Then you need some forms or molds to use to shape up the cement mix that we're going to be stirring up. And so to do that, you need just some plastic bowls, a variety of different sizes of plastic bowls. And you can get these, you can get sets of these inexpensive in any dollar store. Work with some leftover ones that you may have from the kitchen, but you want some bigger ones along with some smaller ones. And I've played around with everything from, cups and drinking little plastic cups, and some of them even have some, texture on the outside of the bowl. That's going to add to some design in there. So get a nice assortment of plastic bowls that you can play around with for different, and you can do, really big ones and small ones, all different shapes and sizes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mix up our cement mix. So I just, get a big tub, and you're going to put some in there. I've already got some started here. You're going to add some water to it, and it's easy to mix up, because if you make it too runny, you can just add some more mix to it. If it's too dry, you can just add some more water. So I like to mix it up until I am at about the consistency of a cookie dough. So you want it not too runny, and you don't want it too thick or too dry. So if you can kind of see, it's kind of nice and thick. It's not too dry, but I like to compare it to a cookie dough. I think that's a good comparison. Then you're going to prepare your molds. So you're going to need some nonstick cooking spray, and we spray the inside of the one, and then we spray the bottom of the other. And I think I've also used maybe some Vaseline as well. If you don't have any of the cooking spray, that works nicely. Just spread that around. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this into our bowl. And you don't fill it all the way up to the top. We want to get it probably about 3/4 of the way full. There we go. You can see cookie dough. Then we're going to take that smaller bowl, and we're going to set it right inside there. And depending how big or how deep this smaller bowl is, you want to be sure to have, some thickness on the base of your bowl. So you don't want to push it so that it's all the way through. But I think that about right there. And then what you're going to do, you may need to weight it down a little bit. So I'll just put some rocks, or if you have some bags of rice or beans, anything to just weight that down while it sits. This one here I've had sitting a little bit longer. And you're going to see how that water rises up. It's going to evaporate out of there. After this is curing for probably about an hour or two, you can come back in and you can gently remove this inside bowl. And if you want to do that, then you can take a piece of pipe, and then you can press down in the center of that, and that'll give you a drainage hole if you want to use any of these for planters. But that's all there is to it. And then you let this set up until they're completely cured, so a day, and then you'll take them out of their forms. You can kind of sand them down a little bit to smooth out any edges. You can play with some deck. You could paint them, you can stain them. But again, one inexpensive bag of cement mix, you can get a lot of really cool containers out of it. So Lou, I think this is a fun one one that maybe you would even want to try.
Yeah, very manly project. We may have to tackle that this weekend.